Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in today. I have a interesting model for you guys. It is the 1/18 scale Maisto Aston Martin Valkyrie, and it's obviously finished in this silver paint with black details or black wheels and black interior and some orange accents thrown in there. This was released in another green variant. I think you're able to pick up at Costco. I'm not too sure if that's a Sam's Club release, but you can get this one at Sam's Club for about $18, and I highly recommend you do. Overall, honestly, I'm not the hugest fan of the Aston Martin Valkyrie. I mean, I think it's a cool car, but I think there's a lot of other more beautifully looking model cars out there compared to this one, but it is still a cool model nonetheless. So I'll show you around the details, some of the features, and give you my overall opinions on this car. So starting with the front of it, as you can see, there's a lot of aero work going on, and I'm just going to actually show you the underneath the car first. So it's kind of got the F1 monocoque in there, as you can see, just a really crazy design with a lot of aero work going on. And it's honestly a really small model. As you can kind of see, I mean, the scale might be hard to tell, but obviously it's a really small car compared to maybe the S-Class or the GT3 RS. But yeah, so back to the front of the car. It's obviously got the Aston Martin wings up there on the front, and that's just a little sticker that's painted under the, or it's stuck under there underneath the lacquer, so it looks kind of nice. There's a Valkyrie nameplate up there at the front, and you got a huge carbon fiber front splitter, and you can't really see the detail that well. I don't think this carbon fiber for Maistos comes through pretty clear, but it is kind of a little textured carbon fiber, but I think they are doing a little bit of a better job with their carbon work in general. There is a split, as you can see in the front. So the weave kind of goes in different directions, and it follows through all the way up here. So it's kind of a neat one. I haven't seen Maisto do too much of that, so it's good to see them implementing a little bit more details. But as you can see through the front splitter itself, it's just, you know, a lot of crazy aero work going on in there. But I think it all kind of gets a little lost. I think on the real car, maybe there's like some gaps in between the front diffuser or the front splitter more. But, you know, I think for overall, this is as good as you can expect a Maisto to, you know, do on that. But it's all right. The headlights themselves, honestly, really boring. You can't really make out too much detail, if any, in there. I know there's something going on in there, but it's just really hard to tell. And honestly, you kind of just lose all the details if there were any in there with just the silver paint in general. And this is a fully opening model, so I'll show you some of those details as we go along. But like I said, you got the split carbon fiber weave that comes up through this huge single windshield wiper. And then through the front, as you can see, there's orange details kind of going through as well, which kind of looks interesting. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but, you know, it's kind of nice, I guess, if you like that. Well, coming down to the side, I think they got some of the body lines good, or done pretty well. As you can see, it kind of comes up towards the front. There's a little split, and then obviously the big wheel arches to the right and left. But looking at the wheels themselves, I think they do look really cool on this model. They're finished in gloss black, and they have a Aston Martin center cap. That's the center wheel lock right there. But behind there, not really too much details to note. There is silver brake calipers, which I think is a nice little touch. And the rotors themselves look like they're supposed to be imitating the carbon ceramics, so not really too much detail to see back there, but I think the wheels in general do look really nice on this model. So following through, there's a bunch more crazy aero details that come through the side, and I think they did a pretty good job on that. Right here we have the camera system that kind of pokes out, so that's a nice little feature. And then just a whole bunch of aero work coming through the side. As you can see through the front that way. And, you know, I think they could have made this all carbon fiber, but it looks like they did. I didn't realize that till now. So I guess all this is carbon fiber, but it kind of comes off at like it's a matte finish. So you might lose some of those details at a distance. It kind of just looks like matte plastic on the side, but I guess that is kind of a cool feature. So coming down towards the side, some more kind of aero going on through there, and then it goes more like air intake, or I don't really know how to describe it. You need to know some science, I guess, if you want to understand exactly what's going on with this car. So as we come around, I think they did a nice job with the body lines right here, and just the way like it's all sculpted. It looks pretty decent. But the back wheels are pretty much the same as the front, so I won't spend too much time there. And we'll take a look at the rear of this model, which is pretty nuts. As you can see, the diffuser itself is just a giant, like, gap, basically. But it looks absolutely nuts. I think I forgot to mention that the bottom of this model is all carbon fiber. So, it follows through basically through the whole entire model. But the upper deck is it's actually a matte finish. It's not carbon, as you can see. Or maybe it is, again. I guess it is carbon up to a certain extent. As you can see, just the rear deck lid itself is finished in carbon, and then the rest of it is just the matte black plastic. But it does look pretty good, I think. I didn't even realize that, because it is matte and it just blends in so well. You can't really see like what's carbon fiber and what's not. This wing itself is not carbon fiber, as you can see, and there is no like adjustable features on it, so it's just a fixed wing on this model. But I think they did a pretty decent job with like the tail lights. Well, there's not really too much detail to note, but I think it comes across fairly well. Obviously in the center there's a single exhaust exit right there, and I'm not too sure if this is supposed to be like a light right here or if that was an exhaust on the real car. It could have been, but they added that little feature in there. And I'll go ahead, this rear deck lid does come up, but it is probably one of the worst feeling deck lids I've ever felt. Like it's super hard to pull up, and then when you do, it just sounds awful, as you can see. So you'll get it up to about here, and I usually just pull this fin up and then just listen to this. It sounds like you're gonna kind of break the model, and it just snaps closed. So it's kind of difficult to open, and it doesn't sound great when you do open it. It doesn't hold up very well either, as you can see. It'll kind of just fall down. But there is some details back there, obviously carbon fiber, I guess engine bay, like on the cover itself, and just, some more little details that I'm not really too sure what's going on. But it's nice that they added that feature. When I first got it, I didn't even realize that this opened, so it does, and that is kind of cool, but it just doesn't feel too well to do that. I forgot to mention there is like a carbon fiber kind of roof scoop going on up here, and it's finished with the orange detail or orange accent around there as well. And it's kind of cool because it's sculpted on the roof to let the air go through into that air intake. I'll go ahead and open up the front of the car real fast, and it just has this little compartment, but there's not really anything to see down there. As you can see, it's just pretty much just all carbon fiber and a little vent. So I don't know why they bothered doing that. I think they just wanted to show off some more of the kind of the split weave that they've done on this model. And like I said, it follows through that as well. So it's kind of nice that, they are kind of upping the carbon fiber detail. It just, this model in particular, I think, it just doesn't come through very well because it's matte. But you can open up the doors, and as you can see, they kind of have that butterfly door design, and it looks really cool with the doors up. And we'll take a peek at the inside, which is obviously a really small interior. A bunch of carbon fiber behind the seats, as you can see, and I'll kind of show you the other side. So I don't really know what to point out in here. Obviously, they have the screens all over the interior of the car, and just a lot of it is carbon fiber. And they have like the harnesses on the seats as well. But honestly, just a pretty boring interior. I mean, there's not really too much going on. This is basically a race car, so you wouldn't really expect there to be too many huge details and features in there. So yeah, it's kind of the model as a whole. Overall, I mean, I think it is a pretty cool model. I think if I had the green one, I would have liked it a lot more, but the silver one is kind of boring. I think it looks really nice at this angle because you kind of hide some of the orange accents, which I'm not too fond of. Because when you see it like this, I think it makes it more look like a toy, more or less. But at this level, I think it looks very menacing, and it's just honestly a really crazy car. I put it next to my F1 that I have by Maisto, and I think these two models together is a really excellent pairing, and if I had it right next to me, I'd show you guys. But you know, like overall, it's a pretty decent model, and I'd probably give it a solid 6 out of 10. Maybe it deserves higher or less. I just think it just feels kind of cheap, like when you open up the rear deck lid, and then just I don't love the orange accents like I've mentioned so many times, so it just kind of knocks it down for me. I think a lot of people are a bigger fan of the Valkyrie than I am, and I love supercars, don't get me wrong, but for this one, this is just a little too insane for me. Don't get me wrong, I still like it, but it's just not my favorite supercar or hypercar compared to some of the other ones. So yeah, that's kind of my opinions. Let me know if you agree with me or not in the comment section below. And at the end, I just want to thank you guys. We're at 200 subscribers now, and I will have a full collection tour coming very shortly. So stay tuned for that, and I think you guys will like to see what I have. So I really appreciate that, and yeah, thanks for riding with me. And if you're not subscribed yet, do that and like the video. Just because I have a lot more model car videos coming out in the future. So yeah, thank you guys very much again, and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.